Bursa Malaysia is an exchange holding company incorporated in 1976 and listed in 2005. One of the largest bourses in ASEAN, Bursa Malaysia helps over 900 companies raise capital, whether through the main market for established large cap companies, the ACE market for emerging companies of all sizes, or the LEAP market for up and coming SME companies. As an inclusive marketplace, Bursa Malaysia provides easy access to many investment products and services, connecting the domestic and foreign market participants to all types of opportunities to help them to expand or invest with impact. Bursa Malaysia diverse product range includes equities, derivative, offshore and Islamic assets, as well as exchange trade fund ETF, real estate investment trust rates, and exchange trade bonds and suku ETBS. Bursa Malaysia organization. There have three structures in Bursa Malaysia organization. First, corporate structure. In corporate structure, it have Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, date of incorporation 4 December 2003. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains a securities exchange. Next, Bursa Malaysia Derivative Berhad, date of incorporation 70 April 1993. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains a derivative exchange. Okay, next, Labuan International Financial Exchange, date of incorporation 30 July 1999. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains an offshore financial exchange. Okay, next, Bursa Malaysia Securities Clearing Sendirian Berhad, date of incorporation 12 November 1983. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains a clearing house for the securities exchange. Next, Bursa Malaysia Depository Sendirian Berhad, date of incorporation 26 October 1987. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains a central depository for securities listed on the security exchange. Okay, next, Bursa Malaysia Information Sendirian Berhad. Principal activities: compiles, provides and disseminates price and other information relating to securities quoted on the securities and derivative exchange within the group, as well as data reported from the bond platform. Okay, next, Bursa Malaysia Bonds Sendirian Berhad, date of incorporation 11 October 1994. Principal activities: provides, operates and maintains an electronic trading platform for the bond market. Next, Bursa Malaysia Islamic Service Sendirian Berhad, date of incorporation 15 April 2009. Principal activities: provides, operates, maintains a Sharia compliant commodity trading platform. Okay, next, Bursa Malaysia Regulation Sendirian Berhad, date of incorporation 80 August 2020. Principal activities: currently domain it will carry out of the regulatory duties and obligation of the exchange holding company and its subsidiaries under the securities laws, and as may be directed by the Securities Commission Malaysia. Next, organization structure. At the top, organization structure, it has Chief Executive Officer, followed by Corporate Governance and Secretarial, Internal Audit, Risk and Compliance, and followed by Derivative Markets, Business Analytics and Information Service, Bursa Al-Sila, Securities Market, Market Operation, Corporate Strategy, Group Technology, Regulation, and Group Finance and Corporate Service, Group Human Resources, Group Sustainability, and lastly, followed by Group Corporate Legal and Group Strategic Communication. Okay, next, the third structure. It was a regulatory structure. Capital market is governed by the following Acts of Parliament: Capital Markets and Services Act 2007, Securities Industry Central Depositories Act 1991, Securities Commission Act 1993, Offshore Companies Act 1990, Labuan Financial Services and Securities Act 2010. At the top, regulatory structure, it has a Ministry of Finance, followed by Securities Commission and Labuan Financial Service Authority (LFSA), and under the Securities Commission, it was the Bursa Malaysia Berhad, followed by Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, Bursa Malaysia Derivative Berhad, Bursa Malaysia Depository Sendirian Berhad, Bursa Malaysia Securities Clearing Sendirian Berhad, Bursa Malaysia Derivative Clearing Sendirian Berhad, Bursa Malaysia Bonds Sendirian Berhad, and under the Labuan Financial Service Authority (LFSA), it have Labuan International Financial Exchange (LFX).
In the Bursa Malaysia company, there are non-Sharia compliant and Sharia compliant, which is the Sharia compliant include Sharia compliant stock or I stock, Sharia compliant indices I indices, and Sharia compliant exchange traded fund I ETF. Sharia compliant stock I stock is a stock that also known as share and equity, which is a type of security that signifies ownership in a corporation and represents a claim on part of the corporation's asset and earnings. Bursa Malaysia as an integrated exchange offer a good breadth of quality Sharia compliant stock. The development of security screening methodology by the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) of Security Commission Malaysia (SC) determine the Sharia compliance of security listed and traded on Bursa Malaysia. The Sharia compliance review is undertaken for securities of companies listed on the exchange and during pre-initial public offering companies. Each public listed company is reviewed based on the latest annual audited financial statement. Investor may refer to Security Commission Malaysia official website for the updated list of Sharia compliant stocks twice a year on every May and November. Next, the Sharia compliant indices is a Bursa Malaysia who are together with leading global index provider FTSE Russell have launched 4 Sharia indices to track the performance of Sharia compliant security. Firstly, FTSE Bursa Malaysia Hijrah Sharia Index. Secondly, FTSE Bursa Malaysia Emas Sharia Index. Thirdly, FTSE Bursa Malaysia Small Cap Sharia Index. Fourth, FTSE Bursa Malaysia Mid Cap Sharia Index. In addition to serving as performance benchmark, the indices are designed for the creation of structure, product, and are referred to by index tracking funds. The constituents of the indices are screened and tested on market capitalization, free float, and liquidity. Lastly is Sharia Compliant Exchange Traded Fund (IETF). An exchange traded fund ETF is an innovative financial product that exhibits the best of open-ended fund and listed stock feeder. In the Security Commission Malaysia's Exchange Traded Fund Guidelines, ETF is defined as a listed index tracking fund structure as a unit trust scheme or any other approved structure whose primary objective is to achieve the return that correspond to the performance of a particular index. To put it simply, ETF is actually unit trust listed and traded on a stock exchange. It is passively managed in general as ETF aims to replicate the performance of a particular market index, either by investing or full replication or substantially all strategic sampling in the constituent securities.
Okay, let's move to the product and services. Bursa Malaysia provide 10 of 8, but I will focus on 5 product and service only. The first one is equity. A share is a security which represents a portion of the owner's capital in a business. Shareholders are the owner of the business and share the success or failure of the business. The performance of the business can often be measured by the amount of dividends shareholders receive and the price of the share quoted on the stock market. It have two types of share, which is ordinary and preference share. The first one is ordinary shares. It also called as equity shares. This is the risk capital of a company. Ordinary shares give holders the right of ownership in the company, such as the right to share in the profits, the right to vote in general meetings, and to elect the dismiss directors. Obligation of ownership also conferred, and this may result in the loss of an investor's money if the company is unsuccessful. Ordinary shares usually form the bulk of a company's capital and have no special rights over other shares. In the event of liquidation, ordinary shares rank after all other liabilities of the company. The second one is preference shares. These are shares which carry the right to dividend, normally fixed, which ranks for the payment before that of ordinary shareholders. Preference share may be preferred also as regards to distribution of asset upon dissolution of the company. Preference shares generally carry no voting rights, but voting rights may be made contingent upon failure to pay dividends on preference share for a certain period of time. The third is Bursa Souk Asila or BSAS. It is a commodity trading platform specifically dedicated to facilitate Islamic liquidity management and financing by Islamic financial institutions. BSAS is another innovative offering and a world's first for Malaysia, further strengthening its position as an international Islamic financial hub. In effect, BSAS integrates a global Islamic financial and capital markets together with the commodity market. All businesses and activities of BSAS are managed by Bursa Malaysia Islamic Services Sdn Bhd. It is also a wholly owned subsidiary of Bursa Malaysia, which is regulated, transparent, and fully Sharia compliant. Okay, the second one is bonds or sukuk, or the other name is ETBS, which means exchange traded bond or sukuk. It has always been seen as an asset class to hedge when markets are bearish and a means to develop a steady income over many years. But in the past, the bond or sukuk market was accessible only to high net worth and institutional investors. Now with ETBS, all investors can have access to the bond or sukuk market with ease via the stock market. ETBS are fixed income securities, also known as bonds or sukuk, that are listed and traded on the stock market. ETBS are issued either by companies or governments to raise funds for their needs. ETBS also have varying structure such as fixed rate, floating rate, and hybrids. The fourth is LFX. It is an international financial exchange based in Labuan, the international business financial center for Malaysia. LFX was established to complement the various business financial services currently available in Labuan. It is limited by shares and is wholly owned by Bursa Malaysia. LFX also full-fledged exchange with listing facilities. Its initial focus is listing of financial instruments. The goal of LFX is to facilitate the influx of funds through the listing of financial instruments. Let's get know about the LFX goals. The first one is to be recognized as investors friendly, to be market driven and transparent, and the last one is to utilize international networking communication system. Okay, the last product is CDS. Investors who wish to trade in securities listed on Bursa Malaysia must open CDS account with authorized depository agents, such for example stockbroking companies. Securities bought will be credited into CDS account that the investors have opened. Likewise, for securities sold, these securities will be debited from the CDS account. Investors can use the central depository system to transfer securities from the CDS account to another, provided the transfer are within the reasons approved by Bursa Malaysia Sdn Berhad. Other transactions that the depository can perform via the central depository system are registering of the bank account information, updating the account particulars, reactivation of dormant CDS account, reactivation of inactive CDS account, deposit of share certificate, withdrawal of share of the listed company, and closing of CDS account.
My name is NURLAILI binti AZMI. My membership number 2020495778. So we move to the next part, which is risk and compliance. First, the enterprise risk management framework was designed in accordance with ISO 31000-2009 risk management principles and guideline, while the compliance framework was designed based on the internationally recognized ISO 196000 compliance management system. Business continuity management framework was developed in line with ISO 22301 standard. In addition, the group adopts the guideline on financial market infrastructure issued by the AZMI Malaysia and Principle for Financial Market Infrastructure issued internationally Organization of Security Commissions to manage the risk of its business and operations. So one of the key features of the risk management framework is the implementation of the 3 lines of defense comprising established and clear functional responsibilities and accountabilities for the management of risk. The application of the ERM framework also extends to management of risk for the clearing houses of BMSC and BMDC in which both are exposed to counterparty risk from the clearing participants. Next is the operational risk management. The management of operational risk is guided by the definition and principle 17 of the IOSCO PFMI. So operational risk is identified as the risk that deficiencies in information system or internal processes, human errors, management failures, or disruption from external event that will result in the reduction, the deterioration or breakdown or services provided by Bursa Malaysia. So the management of some of the significant operational risks faced by the group such as business interruption, appropriate system with adequate capacity, security arrangement, facilities and resources are in place to mitigate risks that could cause interruption of the group's critical business function. So the group has a comprehensive business continuity plan (BCP), including a disaster recovery plan which is tested annually to ensure continuity of the business and technology operation. So beside the mandatory industry-wide test, the group also facilitates BCP exercise for the market participant. The objective of this exercise was to ensure market participants' backup sites or system can be connected successfully to Bursa Malaysia in the event of disruption. Second is cybersecurity. Bursa Malaysia has adopted the Cyber Resilience for Financial Market Infrastructures issued by IOSCO and Guideline and Management of Cyber Risk issued by the AZMI Malaysia. Next is physical breaches. Bursa Malaysia has put in place several control to mitigate physical breaches covering the main Bursa building as well as the disaster recovery site to ensure that Bursa Malaysia is sufficiently prepared to meet any eventuality. There are plans that have been developed and exercised to address multiple possible scenarios which can impact the physical security at Bursa Malaysia premises. Lastly is policies and procedures. So the effective operation of Bursa Malaysia is dependent to a significant extent on the availability, adequacy and effectiveness of its framework, policies and processes and procedures. So hence Bursa Malaysia has put in place of the key framework, policies and procedure which include the system or operation, which is IT security policies, information management policies, business rule, trading and clearing procedures, ISMS manual. And next is risk and compliance, which is ERMPF, compliance framework, BCM frameworks. And for the people is code of ethics, employee handbook, group disciplinary policies, and lastly is budget, which is finance policies and procedures, corporate authority manuals, and contract management guidelines. As you guys can see, this is a risk and compliance structure. So a centralized risk management function integrated with a compliance function was formalized for the Bursa Malaysia Group to provide a holistic and enterprise-wide view of the risk and compliance management within the group. So the structure for risk and compliance division, as shown in the chart, comprised of 3 departments, namely governance and assurance, risk management, and integrity governance and compliance management. So under the risk management, the risk reporting structure covered 3 risk categories, namely investment risk, operational risk, and central counterparty risk.
Bursa Malaysia is committed to developing and maintaining a market that is a choice destination for listing and investment. Benefit of listing on Bursa Malaysia is: the first one is simple and clear requirement for listing. Secondly, efficient time to market. Thirdly, strong investor protecting regime under sound regulatory frameworks. And lastly, transparent and fully automated marketplace. Listing criteria. Bursa Malaysia offers a choice of 3 markets to companies seeking for listing in Malaysia, which is main market, ACE market, and lead market. For the cost of listing, the cost of raising equity through an initial public offering vary for main market and ACE market. The total listing for ACE market may range from 2 million to 5 million. The listing costs for main markets are usually above from 3 million depending on the size, complexity of the case as well as the amount to be raised. Some of the key components in the total IPO expenses are professional fee depending on the size and complexity of the case of the subject to negotiation, underwriting, placement and net brokerage fee, which generally range from 1% to 3% of the value of the share subject to negotiations. Next is MIRA. Who is MIRA? Managing investor expectations through an effective ongoing investor relations, or IR. MIRA is a program for any public lease company PLC to achieve a fair market valuation for its security, create a body of investor support and a climate of favorable opinion. That is MIRA. So what IR or investor relation do? They are example IR advisor or sponsor for Bursa Malaysia. Firstly, IR sponsor Affin Huan Investment Bank Berhad. Secondly, Alliance Islamic Bank Berhad. Thirdly, An Investment Bank Berhad. And lastly is CIMB Investment Bank Berhad. Okay, for the supporting partner, Bursa Malaysia have 4 main supporting partner, which is the first one is SME Corp. As you can see at the first logo, SME Corporations Malaysia. For next is MDEX. For MDEX is Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation Sendian Berhad. Or formerly known as Multimedia Development Corporation Sdn Bhd. The third one is Teraju. Unit Teraju Agenda Bumi Putra. And the last one is MTDC, which is Malaysia Technology Development Corporations, which is a company wholly owned by Khazanah Nasional Berhad, is the business of fund management, incubations, advisory and nurturing services. There are 4 supporting partners of Bursa Malaysia. As conclusions, why we should choose Bursa Malaysia is efficient access to capital and investment. Bursa Malaysia offer a dynamic platform for issuer by supporting and assisting company in fulfilling their capital raising needs. Next, Bursa Malaysia operates a fully integrated exchange that offer a comprehensive range of products. Next, why we should choose Bursa Malaysia is they have a solid platform for raising capital. Almost 1,000 companies from a wide range of business sectors has successfully made transitions to access public equity financing. We are leading exchange in ASEAN, which is well regulated and rank high in corporate governance and investor protection. Bursa Malaysia also are recognized leader in Islamic finance and investment. Bursa Malaysia have received awards and certifications which recognize our achievement over the years. And lastly, Bursa Malaysians has strong support from institutional investors. That's all from us. Thank you for lending your ear. Bye bye.